Welcome back to Sorta Sophisticated, the podcast where me or Amanda get some random bug up our butts sometime during the week about something in particular, and then decide we need to learn more about the thing that we just got a bug up our butt about, and then we do some research and get behind this mic and break it all down so it's not boring and hopefully sort of fun, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm your host, Pete, and with me as always is Amanda.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back from Hawaii.
Wait, before we get into Hawaii, what if one day I said, and with me as always is your host, Amanda, and you just didn't say anything, and it was just like dead air? That would be funny because you'd
you
like
kill me?
Flex all over me. No, I'm just saying, like I'm counting on you to say something at that exact moment, and you come through every time. What if you were just like snooze fest, and then you wouldn't say anything? It would suck. You wouldn't be a good I guess you wouldn't be a good co-host.
Yeah, I was like, that would just be awkward.
Okay, it would be. Yeah, so everybody, Amanda and I went to Hawaii. Well, not together, separately. Like she went with her family, and then I went with one of my children, and had a glorious time together on the Big Island.
It was fabulous.
It really was. Glorious. Palm trees swaying, coffee beans roasting.
I love that's how your vision of the Big Island is.
Okay, what's yours?
It's like lava rock.
Yes.
And
Erupting. Lava rock erupting.
I mean, there was a little bit of glow there.
There's a lot of eruptions. I bet there was. Maybe in your hotel room. Dun dun dun.
Oh, man.
Do you think we could travel together again or never again?
I think so.
What do we think?
I think so. I'm a fun travel buddy. So
were you?
Yeah.
So, folks, here's how this all went down. I stayed, about an hour away from my dear co-host, Amanda.
That was by your choice.
Who stayed in this bougie, condo complex. I stayed at a friend's house, which was glorious and wonderful. But every day, Amanda planned to drive literally 2 hours to some site. First of all, how is the Big Island that big that you could drive 2 hours to get to somewhere? But my point being, like, who wants to drive that far to go see something and then drive back? That's like 4 hours in a car every day.
Peter's exaggerating.
No,
in the sense
that's bullshit.
Like,
you never planned anything.
Over there, and you stop once, and then you get back in the car and you drive back. That is not the case. You spend the whole day.
I understand
on either the north part of the island, the east side,
or all the parts that you
south side.
Right, the parts where you aren't. Like, why don't you just spend the day where you are? Like in
we
the
are
place.
spending the day. You're saying spend the night.
Whatever.
Because then you gotta keep all your stuff and hop around and unpack and all the things.
No.
And it was every other day that we have to drive. It was not back-to-back days.
Walk downstairs from the condo or press the button to the elevator, go down, hit beach level, walk out to the beach, and sit down. Why is this so hard?
Because it's the Big Island. The Big Island doesn't necessarily have beaches unless you're on the resort.
Yeah, I know.
Everything is all
I'm sorry.
Black sand.
I understand. And I know where you stayed. I came and visited.
I know.
So,
ours was very nice. We could stay there. But then you wouldn't get to see the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park.
No, that's true.
You wouldn't get to see the black sand
you're right.
or the green sand beach.
Okay, fine. Thank you for dragging me
or
around.
Waterfalls. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
We love Hawaii.
We do.
Actually, we've done a lot of episodes on Hawaii.
We have.
So I should be more respectful.
I mean, and while we were there, you said we should do another one.
I know. But I mean, then what are we going to do? Now we're just going to be like some white people doing a podcast on Hawaii. Nobody's going to want to listen to that. Not even Native Hawaiians. They're going to be mad. I can't win.
That's why you should probably just have a Native Hawaiian on the podcast to give their perspective.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
But can we get started now, finally?
Yes. What are we talking about today?
Talking about all this Hawaii stuff. Today, we're talking about the UN. The UN, because the UN just turned 80 years old this year and just finished off something called High Level Week. High Level Week, which ran during the last week in September. So it's been in the news lately, and it got me thinking about the fact that I know absolutely nothing about the UN, the history of the UN, how it came to be, and so here we are.
That does make me feel better because I don't know anything either, except for like whenever I see a headline that's like, Trump says he's, we're leaving the UN.
Right, which, I mean, maybe we will be.
That's about all.
I got a fun fact about that further down.
Here we go.
Yeah, you know what we're going to do today? We're going to learn about the UN, damn it, like it or not. That's what's happening today.
And who's part of the UN?
Everybody's part of the UN.
Everybody.
A lot of people are part of the UN.
But not everybody. Not every nation.
190 countries.
Out of how many countries in the
That's
world?
a good question. Now, you got to Google that because I do not know.
Okay.
So you Google that.
Okay, well, what's the official title?
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The world's biggest group project, the founding of the United Nations.
Huh. So you said there's 190 nations?
Well, like 190 plus. I don't know exactly.
Okay. because the Olympic Committee recognizes 206
Well,
nations.
that sounds official. Okay.
Right? I mean, I kind of would go with that. So
Okay.
out of the 206, 195 are recognized countries by the United Nations, of which 193 are member states and 2 are non-member
Okay, so that means
observers.
11 countries are not part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm curious.
Do we need to know?
No.
Or no?
No.
Or can we keep plugging along?
We can keep plugging along. Yeah.
Because
This
you
is where
just-
you tell us why we're going to be more
Yeah, but you just
cultured.
spoiled the whole thing because now you looked up everything. My whole point of being culture was that like 190 plus countries still come together and talk about everything all the time.
Okay, fair.
And that I would consider culture.
So we're done.
So you
Check,
just-
checked.
Right. You just spoiled everything.
Not intentionally.
Okay, whatever. But we're good. We covered
Okay,
that.
fine.
All
Word
right.
of the day.
Move on. Word of the day. All right, here we go. Word of the day today is gibbous.
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 Gib.
Gib.
Gibbous.
Gibbous.
Us, very gib. Like gab.
Gib gab.
Gib.
Jib jab.
I don't even know
Jib
what
jab.
gib would be. I
Nothing.
can't even think of a word with gib.
I know. And you know what's so funny is I thought you were going to do
Or
this.
glib.
So I looked it up and I'm like, she's not going to come up with anything.
No. Oh,
Yeah,
here we
okay.
go. Thanks.
That's why I picked it. Okay, so gibbous comes from the Latin word gibbous, meaning hump or humpbacked. And it was adopted in Middle English in the 14th century to describe anything rounded, convex, or protuberant. Protuberant people. They use it for when you explain the moon for some reason. So like you'd say when the moon is more than half full but not totally full, you'd call that a gibbous moon. Don't ask
Why
me.
is it not a gibbous camel?
Yeah, you could use it for Campbell.
Okay.
Absolutely, you could. Yeah. I would argue one could use it for a pregnant woman,
Oh.
perhaps.
Okay.
Yes? A synonym of gibbous could be bulging or swelling. So,
So now you're going to call, when you see somebody who has a round belly, look at that gibbous person.
I mean, I might say that. Yeah, I might be like, wow, dude, she's pretty gibbous.
Why is it a she? Why couldn't it be a he's pretty gibbous?
Well, because he's not pregnant.
Well,
Do we want to get into that
you
whole
said
thing?
pregnant. I just said somebody with a big belly.
Oh, no. Look, who are we kidding? I'm the first person to say I'm gibbous. I thought we were talking pregnant. I apologize. Dude, totally. No, I'm gibbous number 1 over here.
All right,
Okay.
Gibbous. Can I call you Gibby?
Gibby.
I'm going to call you Gibby.
Call me Gibby for short. That's my new name. I like that.
Oh, we're going to move on from these big round moons and pregnant ladies.
I'm
and
about to give you
are
my
you gonna
big
go to,
round
like,
moon
to
is
like
what's about
the
to happen.
Gibbous round tables of the UN.
If we weren't recording this
Can I
on
use
video,
Gibbous for a table?
you could. You can use it for anything. Here's the beauty of our words of the day. We can use it for whatever the hell we want. All right?
Okay.
So that's it. Anything that's bulbous or swollen
Okay.
is going to be gibbous.
Gibbous.
All right?
Let's talk about the Gibbous table of the UN then.
Okay, let's do it. Ready?
Ready.
But you know how I do this, right? So
Yes,
because if
the
we're going to do this, we're going to go back.
history.
Right. That we can't just start with the UN.
Oh, you can't start with the UN.
No,
Like
I got to
when it
go
started?
before that, right? Because there's all these
Okay.
prequels and all these things that exist
Well, I guess
before.
it would be the reason why the UN was created.
Do you remember the whole, what was it? The U.S. democracy we did and how that was created? And then we went all the way back in time to like BC to come up with.
You
yeah.
went real far on that one.
All right, here we go. I'm not going to go that far.
Deep
this time.
dive. Go, Gibby.
All right, so they had to pilot a bunch of shit first and like figure out the whole rough draft, not to like blow themselves up or anything. So the first main one actually goes back all the way to 1815. Wait, full disclosure here. I'm not saying all these are actually connected. What I'm saying is one sort of informed the other, what we're going to talk about here coming up. It's not like
Okay.
one specific thing led to the next specific thing, led to the next specific thing, led to the
Sure,
UN. It's just
okay.
sort of like, oh, they had this thing and it didn't work, so let's do something better.
Okay, fine.
So it's 1815. Napoleon, you remember Napoleon?
Yeah.
Trying to take over the world?
Yes.
Right, little
Little
short
man.
dude. Yeah. He got his ass kicked. So a bunch of countries get together and start something called the Concert of Europe. I don't know
For
if
the
you
record,
remember that.
we have Napoleon to thank for driving on the right side of the road.
You've explained this before
Okay.
on a podcast.
So
Thank
I
you
know
very
you're
much.
saying that, like,
Oh, I do not want to be around you
We
when
are
you're
now-
old. Like, I'm going to hear all your stories over and over.
but like you're saying that,
Tell me
you know, a bunch
what?
of countries didn't like him.
No,
but,
they didn't.
I mean,
That's right. Okay, we have to thank for one thing.
Okay.
That's fine. So now we have something called the Concert of Europe, where a bunch of people got together, like all the big monarchies at the time. I don't know, whatever they were called. Monarchies? Britain, Austria, Prussia back then, Russia and Prussia. They all looked around and they're like, hey, no, we're not going to let anybody do this whole world domination thing again. Kind of fuck Napoleon. Okay?
Okay.
That was the plan.
So then what they do? Started the United Nations?
No, they
I'm
started.
Just kidding.
You're trying to move me along way too fast. Okay. They started the Concert of Europe. And the best way to explain this was like, let's call it a gentleman's agreement, which is basically code for let's meet up and drink some whiskey and try to fix all our problems together before we decide to go to war. And to be honest, it kind of worked. I mean, Europe still had a lot of shit that happened in the 1800s, but no real full-blown war or anything until World War I. So, like, it kind of worked for 100 years. Kind of a big deal.
So you're getting everyone in a room, to talk about their problems.
Get drunk.
Before blowing things up.
Loosely. Right.
Okay.
I mean, there were still wars and stuff, not just on a big scale. So the problem was there wasn't teeth behind it, like not real enforcement. If somebody didn't like the vibe, they just
Empty threats.
Yes,
Okay.
they sort of ignored it.
Okay, so concert of Europe.
Yes.
Good.
So then
Okay.
that ultimately led to World War I because, who are we kidding? Somebody else decided they wanted to take over the world. So you had Napoleon in the 1800s. This time you had Kaiser Wilhelm II in the 1900s.
Trying to take over the world.
Yep. That whole thing starts again. Here we go. World War I. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody gets together again, beats the shit out of Kaiser Wilhelm and what they call all the Central Powers, which was basically the same thing as like the Axis powers. All the bad guys
Okay.
in World War I. They were called the Central Powers. Just different countries, except Germany. Germany was, of course, always bad. But I mean, I don't mean bad. I shouldn't say that. Germany was always not on the same side as us. How's that? Okay.
Hence World War II.
Yes, hence World War II. Okay. So after World War I ends, Woodrow Wilson was like, all right, people, we really need to get our shit together this time. No more of this concert of Europe crap or this permanent court of arbitration. That was something they tried in between. We just didn't talk about for a very small period of time. They were buckling down. They were going to buckle. There was going to be buckling,
Okay.
right? Over
Doesn't
there.
like buckling down mean to like bunker down?
They were going to get serious. Hunker down, you mean? They
Oh.
were going to get serious, right? They had a really
hunker down.
gibbous belly. They were going to buckle. They were going to buckle that shit down.
Okay.
So this is where the League of Nations comes in. Do you remember the League of Nations or no?
No, it sounds like
All
a
right, fine.
superhero group name
Right.
though.
It kind of, right?
Okay.
So if we're calling balls and strikes here, I think the idea of the League of Nations was pretty solid. Not going to lie. They wanted to create this permanent body where countries are required to talk things out instead of fighting.
Okay.
Except there was one problem. Want to guess?
Someone didn't agree.
Woodrow Wilson,
Oh,
the president of the United States, decided he wasn't going to join.
but he started it.
He did.
Okay.
Mhm.
What
And
did he not like?
Yeah, right? That's what I was like, total dick move. Whatever. Well, it wasn't really him.
Oh.
It was really the Senate. Okay? He wanted to join. The Senate didn't want to join. Listen.
Why did the Senate not want to join?
So he comes back to America after negotiating the whole Treaty of Versailles. That's
Okay.
World War I
Yeah.
stuff, which included the League of Nations, like building the whole thing. And all the United States voted against it because they were worried it would drag America into all the foreign wars by default. Like, because they were now in this League of Nations, they had to join the wars, and it would take away Congress's power to declare war because they'd automatically have to get involved.
That's a fair point.
Right. So kind of like we were required to defend our allies at any expense without voting on it. So, that, and since we're just an ocean away, it just didn't feel good to our Senate. So they put the kibosh on the whole thing. They kiboshed. They kiboshed.
Kibosh.
Kiboshed?
Kibosh.
I say kibosh. It's a kibosh.
It's a kibosh.
Okay. Whether it's a kibosh or a kibosh, they shit on it and said, no, we're not doing it.
Okay.
Okay? But it does make sense, right?
I mean, it does.
Okay.
I would agree. Like, those are our laws.
Right.
I mean,
That's what we want to follow. All right, so here's the deal. There was kind of a problem, though. So without the U.S., the League of Nations was like,
it's
screwed.
not going to work because
Yeah,
the U.S. is the one
right.
who, yeah.
They didn't have enough horsepower to exist on their own. So like 10 years later, when Japan invaded Manchuria, this was pre-World War II, and then Mussolini invaded Ethiopia, also pre-World War II, all the League of Nations could really do was just sort of say like, oh, don't do that. You can't do that, please. Right? In Japan
Behave.
and
Yep.
Japan and Italy were like, yeah,
But isn't that
whatever.
the same today, though? Isn't
We're
it
doing it
still
anyway.
kind of like a slap on the wrist?
We're getting there.
Okay.
Oh, we are so going to get there. You just stepped in it.
Sorry.
Let's go. No, it's excellent. No. We're going to get there. I was doing the same exact thing. I'm like, well, wait a second. What does that mean?
Feels like it's the same thing.
I was just
but
doing
okay.
this 2 days ago while I was
Fair.
researching this whole thing. Okay. So by the time Hitler invades Poland then in 1939, enough of like all the bad countries had already called the League of Nations bluff, basically. And shit started hitting the fan. Yeah. So, I mean, like, World War II goes off.
Oh, yep. Here we are. Not serious enough.
We're getting
Not
close, though,
enough
now.
consequence.
Now it's time. Enter the UN and their big gibbous belly. Okay. So, Hitler tries to take over the world. Spoiler alert, we all know he lost.
Very thankful.
And if you don't know that, please listen to our D-Day episode to get some history on that subject. But I digress. Okay. So World War II ends. Everyone's like, okay, we got to get our shit together now. Once and for all. So this time, instead of Woodrow Wilson, who is it?
Roosevelt.
Thank you very much. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Him, Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of Britain, and Joseph Stalin, believe it or
Okay.
not, the leader of the Communist Party, like in Russia.
Uh-huh.
They all get together in a place called Yalta on the Crimean Peninsula, because like Crimea was part of Russia at the time. And they basically start laying the groundwork for the United Nations.
Okay.
Oh, that. And also dividing up Germany, if you remember, at the time after World War II.
Yeah.
So Then after that, like 50 countries all meet up in San Francisco. I didn't know that in 1945, later that year, at something called the United Nations Conference on International Organization, and basically have a giant paperwork party and sign all the documents that started what is now known today as, Amanda, the United Nations Charter.
So basically, this is like the League of Nations 2.0.
Oh, it is.
Just with a bunch of upgrades.
With a lot of upgrades.
Okay.
A lot of upgrades.
Any teeth?
A lot of teeth. There's two.
Because like it just feels
two very big different teeth.
Okay.
2 teeth.
Okay, only 2.
2 front different teeth. Okay, one, first and foremost. Here we go.
Are they side by side teeth? Or are they chompers like a rabbit?
The fang. What are they called? The incisors?
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. Okay. Number 1, the U.S. joins. Finally, this time. Yep. Thank you. So that was
we don't have to just be dragged into war.
Yeah. Okay.
Assuming that's one of the things.
That should have been enough. We joined.
Okay.
And then secondly, they gave the biggest powers, the United States, Soviet Union, Britain, France, and China. Okay. Permanent seats on what's called the UN Security Council, the part of the UN that deals with like war and global security and stuff. That way, if one of those 5 disagreed with something, they could just veto it and it wouldn't pass or go through like ever at all. So instead of just leaving if they didn't get their way, those 5 countries had a reason to stick around. In League of Nations, they didn't. They just got up and left the table and never came back. Here, they get to stay because they have veto power. So all 5 of those big guys have to agree. If they don't, nothing moves along.
So when does the UN ever agree? Because I feel like just the Soviet Union, China, and U.S. would just consistently not agree.
They don't always agree. You are absolutely right. But it like made it more sticky.
So basically the world superpowers got together so they can boss around everyone else. And the 5 top ones will stay forever because they get veto powers.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And tough shit because it works.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, think about it. In the last 80 years, I know we've had wars and conflicts and stuff, and it's not perfect, but we haven't had World War III. So if the goal was to not have World War III, let's be honest, it's working.
I mean, I guess there's that.
Yeah, there is.
Though I feel like we're just on the brink of it. But that's fine. So I get the whole idea. But now I think you have to give us like the details. Like, how does it all actually work?
Apparently you don't think it works. So.
Well, it's not that I don't think
I got it all.
Works.
Just so you know, I got it all loaded. I'm ready. You know what I mean?
Okay,
we're gonna get to why it doesn't work. I promise you.
I just feel
but what's
like
your question? Go.
The 5 big guys just
what
get
is your
whatever they
obsession
want.
with the 5 big guys? Yes, they do get whatever they want.
I know we're one of them.
Yes.
But I don't understand how it ever works.
All right, here's how it all works. Because there's 2 separate. It's like the House of Representatives and the Senate in the United States. Bear with me. Here we go. Good
Which
question.
is currently
this is legit.
Not
working well. It's all perspective. I'm with you. I understand.
And I get it. Checks and balance, right?
Okay.
So I'm not saying that it's not a good like position or the way that it was built. I'm just a little bit confused about how they get anything done.
Yeah, well, because, they're all just big gibbous men sitting in a room together.
Probably.
Okay. All right. So basically, they built the UN around 2 main bodies. So the first one was called the General Assembly. And the General Assembly is a place where every country that's part of the UN gets 1 seat and 1 vote.
Okay.
Doesn't matter the size of the country. Super simple.
Okay.
Country, 1 seat, 1 vote.
Yep.
Right?
So the United States and Luxembourg all have the same vote in the GA.
In the GA.
Great.
Let's go. Yes, that's the whole point. Everything's fair.
Okay.
Got it.
But then you said something about like a UN Security Council that had like the 5.
Yes. Okay. You have the other body, you're right, called the UN Security Council. That's where all the real power is, like you were saying. That's the part they built to not have any like Hitlerish situation go on again. So it's 15 countries in total. And 5 of those are the same all the time. They never change, like we said earlier. US, UK, France, Russia, China. And then the other 10 rotate every 2 years. So there's 15 votes.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not the 5. Well, the 5 have immediate veto power.
Yes.
But none of the other 10 get veto power, correct?
They do not. Right. Technically, you could have 14 countries vote on something, and if one of the 5 main guys say no, it doesn't pass.
That's like bullshit.
But if you had 14 countries vote on something and all 5 of them, the big guys, did say it passed, then it would pass. You don't need the 15 votes.
But you could have just one person.
One of those 5.
Country could say no.
It's the way to keep them coming back.
I understand the purpose of the 5.
Right.
It just seems like a big power stick. That's all I'm saying.
You are right. And that is the problem everybody has with it now. You're right. Shit grinds to a halt. And I know you don't want to believe me because from the beginning of this episode, you've already been knocking it. You haven't even you don't even know all about the UN yet. But it does some good stuff. It really does.
I don't disbelieve that it does good stuff. I know that they do some good, but I think you're going to have to give me some examples because I'm very stuck on this veto power.
Yeah, so was I.
Okay.
But then ChatGPT went to work, and I was like,
Unlocked.
light bulb, right? Unlocked all this wonderful stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the fact that the UN feeds millions of people every year through something called the World Food Program or the OPT Fund. Right now, Amanda, as we speak, they're giving food and shelter to refugees in the West Bank, Gaza, and Jerusalem to the tune of millions of people. Not a small number. Not a small number.
I do have a question, though.
Yes?
Who pays for all that?
We do. Everybody does.
So every country
Yeah.
pays into the UN food bank?
Yes.
At the appropriate percenentages?
Oh, I have no idea. That's way too
okay.
sophisticated.
Too
Look,
sophisticated,
you should look
sorry.
that up. No, seriously, I want to know.
I only asked that question because, again, it was like a
That's a
news
good-
article that
That is an
was out
excellent
there,
question.
right?
I'm going to keep talking about other stuff
Got
they
it,
do.
got it. Okay,
You
continue.
listen with one ear while you're looking up who pays for all this,
Okay.
specifically the World Food Program. Let's look
Okay.
that one up. Okay. They also coordinate all the big disaster relief efforts. You might as well look that one up too. When there's like an earthquake or a tsunami or hurricanes like somewhere in the world. They just did that, if you remember, for the people in Afghanistan like a month ago. I think it was like on September 1st. There was a 6.0 earthquake in the Kunar province out in eastern Afghanistan. They helped over 400,000 people affected by that earthquake immediately. Like immediately they did. Again, I have no idea who's paying for that. Look that up. And then they have UNICEF. Do you know UNICEF? The United Nations International Children's
Yes,
Emergency Fund? Right.
Yep.
Okay. Keeps millions of kids in school all over the world and gives them milk because Margaret Thatcher denied them milk for so long. Who are we kidding? Okay. I looked it up. Do you want to guess how many children UNICEF is helping like right now in 2025? In 2025,
10
just
million.
109
Wow.
million children in the world UNICEF is supporting.
That's a lot.
Isn't it ridiculous?
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay, what do you got? Did you look this up?
I did.
What?
So just for the food program alone,
Yeah.
the U.S. Donates or contributes. It's all based off a donation. No one's required, but the U.S.
Oh,
puts
so
in
it's not based off what's it called?
GDP?
GDP.
Gross domestic product?
That sounds right.
Maybe?
Yeah. It's not based off that. It's all donations?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it's partly GDP, but I mean, I'm sure that plays a factor
It's not
into
like
it because
Margaret Thatcher with the
it's-
poll tax where she
No,
just
no,
like made everybody give the same amount. Okay.
so United States is about 7.2 billion.
Holy shit. Okay.
Right. Germany is about 1.5 billion.
But that's coming through our taxpayer money.
Uh-huh.
They're offering it up.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we pay.
The EU is about 1.2, and
Wait.
then it drops off
Wait a second.
to Canada 600
Wait a
million,
second.
Japan 500
Hold on a
million,
second.
Sweden 400.
If that goes to the UN and it's going to help all these people, shouldn't I get a tax write-off?
You would think so, as a donation, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What's
Now I got
what's
more questions.
happening? This is BS. Okay, wait. Can I keep going on good stuff
Yes,
so I don't?
absolutely,
Because otherwise,
absolutely.
I'm going to get very angry.
Yeah,
I need to-
we can't go down that
I need to
rabbit
start
hole.
drinking. Okay, they also help with climate change, right? Like, is that the whole Greta Thunberg thing?
It
That's
is.
what she does,
just
right?
got arrested again for, I think,
She's-
trying to get food into Gaza, but continue.
Because she's a good person. Good for her. All right, back to climate change. What are we kidding? Like, so the UN's actually the one helping the countries either broker deals with each other or just help countries build their own program. And fun fact, they actually just finished one this year, coming into effect in 2026. It's called the Agreement on the Conservation of Sustainable Use of Marine Biological Diversity.
Say that
Wow, that
3
was
times
really
fast.
long, right? Oh my God. I don't even know what just happened there. I feel like Will Ferrell in Old School. Okay. In normal person language, it's a global treaty designed to protect the parts of the ocean that don't belong to anybody, like one specific country.
Okay, so
Right.
this is also the space
International
that like
stuff.
China's trying to fight over.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And we're like
Okay.
making sure it's like
Yeah, yeah,
biodiverse
fair,
and all
fair,
sorts of
fair.
shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And then they have WHO, the World Health Organization.
Yeah, the one who came out during the pandemic.
Yeah. Oh,
That
wow. Okay. They also do a bunch of amazing work, I would argue, about like responding to pandemics, even though you don't think they did.
Oh, they responded.
And what?
I just
Okay.
whole thing there.
Can we
We
like
don't talk about pandemics. Move on.
Oh,
UN.
wow. I'm going to argue the WHO's still a good thing. Okay. Then they support militarily. Guys
Okay.
with blue helmets. Do we know the blue helmets? The Peacekeepers.
don't.
Have you heard of these guys?
No.
Okay. You've seen them on TV.
Are
Yes, you
these
have.
like the
When are they going?
Beauxbatons from
Yeah.
the
that's-
French witches from
that's
Harry
exactly.
Potter?
We'll just yes, that's exactly what we'll call them. Oh my God,
I'm
you're
just kidding.
hysterical. Oh, but the fact that you referenced a movie quote, it makes my heart full. You know what it does? It makes my heart gibbous.
Oh, it makes it so
It's-
bulbous.
Yeah, bulbous and plump. Okay. So these peacekeepers, they're not like soldiers or anything, but they've gone into Namibia. They've gone into Sierra Leone. They just recently went into Liberia, and they're helping with the violence there and providing support to the incoming government in all these countries. So while they're not like super soldier people, they're there to offer a lot of strategic support. And
Okay.
then I saved the best for last. Like I am rattling off
You
a
are.
bunch of shit here they're doing good, even though you didn't even like the whole, World Health Organization piece. Even if we take that one out. All right.
It's not that I don't like the
Last
WHO.
one. Are you ready for this?
I'm just still,
Who doesn't
having
love the WHO?
my,
I love the WHO.
my pandemic
Teenage Wasteland.
trauma.
Tommy,
just
probably
comes
one of the
out,
best
that's all.
albums ever. Okay, sorry. Your trauma. I listen to you with trauma. All right. You ready for this last one?
I'm ready.
Human rights. You remember the Beijing Declaration on women's rights? The
Yeah.
UN did the same thing for like all of humanness. They developed and promoted something called the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was adopted in 1948, only a few years after the whole UN was formed, because that was like, 1945. It still applies today. It's basically 30 articles spelling out the basic freedoms and protections for every human being on Earth and what they should have, like no matter their country, culture, government. And it's still the foundation for most modern human rights laws today. Today. So, I mean, it's a big deal. They do real stuff. It's not just war stuff, because everybody doesn't agree all the time. I get it. But the other stuff is good stuff. Like really good stuff.
Okay.
But also I would argue, which you're not arguing, is because we haven't had World War III yet, I think it's still working even with the hard stuff.
Fair. I would say that generally very awesome, really helpful on a lot of things, though I may not agree how the money is spent or donated. But I do still feel kind of like they're all bark and no bite. Because no one can ever really
pretty much in a nutshell
agree.
Right. Okay.
So.
Okay, but here's what I'm arguing. Pretty messy is better than chaos. That's what I'm arguing.
Okay.
That's
fair.
it. Listen, the UN's not going to stop every war, but it's just going to make the world run smoother behind the scenes. And nobody wants to admit that or give them credit for shit.
Okay.
Like it's bullshit. Here's the thing. When you think about it, go back to the beginning when we were talking about it. We looked it up. It's the only place where 195 countries still come together all the time, sit down and talk about shit. Even if they're not fixing the shit, they're at least talking about the shit. Where else? If they didn't have it, what else would they do?
Fair. It is fair that everyone comes together as
I feel
a
like I'm
global
winning you
society.
over a little bit.
I mean, a little bit, yes.
All right.
But let's test this out. Okay,
What-
we're gonna do a
what-
test in like real time.
Let's go. Let's test.
Okay,
Test
so
this out. What are we doing?
today. Go ahead and give one example of how the UN is actually working right now.
You're melting my brain.
We see it all in the headlines, and it's very predominant in our culture where, we talk about the UN and it left or right, it swings both ways, right? But like in the last month,
Oh, it swings both ways.
what is the real stuff? Like what is one thing that has
This is
happened?
not fair. You're putting me
That's
on the spot.
realistic. No, but that's
What the hell do I
realistic.
know about this right now?
You just did all of this research,
I have to look this up right now.
You're
I have
sort
to
of
Google this.
sophisticated, so you should know.
I'm going to cheat. Can I cheat?
Okay, but it can't be like Gaza, and it can't be like, not that that's not happening, but
Oh
I
my
feel
God.
like those have been in the headlines.
They're already in the headlines. They
Yeah.
don't count.
Yeah. So
All right.
something else.
All right, fine.
Not in the headlines, something that we wouldn't know.
I love ChatGPT. I already found something.
Okay,
All right,
go.
here we go. Okay, so Haiti. Just last month, the UN Security Council approved a new gang suppression whole thing. So I don't know if you know, but gangs have basically taken over Port-au-Prince, Haiti's largest city. Yes. And people can't get any food or medicine there. So the UN literally just authorized 5,000 troops and police to help the Haitian government get rid of all the gangs. Real shit. Just a month ago. Look it up. They are not f***ing around.
Okay, so they're kind of like the Blue Helmet guys then? 'Cause
No.
They're supposed to be like peacekeepers.
No, they did not. No, not the Blue Helmet guys. No, check this out. So actually Kenya, the country of Kenya, volunteered to send in its troops, and the UN is supporting them.
Okay.
So it's real soldiers fighting these gangs. Like, no bullshit. I just looked this up.
But did it work?
It's in the middle of working. It's happening right now. It's real time. I don't know. Time's going to tell if it's working or not.
Okay, fair. I asked for a real life example.
It counts.
So that's legit.
It counts.
Okay, it counts. So in all fairness, like I support that, right? Having
You should.
the funds and ability
And let's
to
go Kenya,
support
right?
governments against uprisings, right? Or in this
Yes.
case, gangs. But there has to be something like a train wreck that's not working right now, something that we're just like spilling money, hemorrhaging. Hemorrhaging's a good word. Yeah.
Syria in the Middle East.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of people really don't know or care about everything going on in the Middle East because it's been dwarfed by Israel-Palestine. You said I can't talk about Israel-Palestine. But here we are. We're not going to. We're going to talk about Syria instead because they've been in a civil war for the last 10 years. No, actually, it was like 2011. More like 15 years almost now, okay? And millions of Syrians have been displaced in their own country or refugees now in other countries, and they're depending on help and humanitarian aid. But the only way the UN can legally deliver any help is if the Security Council agrees. The Security Council, the Five Guys, Five Guys,
Yeah.
the Five Guys. That's what they should. You know what they should rename
the
it?
Five Guys.
They should rename it Five Guys, right?
But
So,
this is
but
again
this is the problem.
an example.
Okay,
of
here it is. You
when-
asked for one. It's real time right
Okay.
now. Russia and China, they keep vetoing everything, so nothing's getting done, and the UN is totally deadlocked, and it sucks. And people are literally starving to
Then
death.
why don't we get more?
That's why Greta
headlines?
Thunberg's in jail.
But why then in our headlines does it not get explicitly said that Russia and China are vetoing humanitarian aid?
I think it does get said.
I don't know.
What are
if
we
it
supposed to do about
does.
it? Like, they have their reasons why. It
Yeah, 'cause
sucks.
they're on the other side. Which again, I feel like deadlocks and blocks a lot of the good the UN could be doing. Like it seems like a conundrum. That's all I'm saying.
You have children, and this is what I would tell my children in this circumstance. All right, offer me another solution. Offer me another solution. So I get it. I completely agree with you. Like, I'm not talking shit. Everything you're saying is totally right. It makes perfect sense. I'm just as pissed as you are. But at the end of the day, what is the next step? What is the next solution? If you're trying to avoid World War III, you want to bring people to the table all the time. Maybe we have to talk more often. Maybe that, like, you can't leave the room until, like, I don't know what it is. But my point being, just we got to offer up something else then. Because bitching about it or just saying our side's right, they have their own interests. They're not our interests. Dude, I don't agree with any of this shit. I'm just
so interesting.
What?
It's so interesting. It's just
you just get mad at me that I talk like this. Don't you?
No. It's just a conundrum.
It
right?
is,
and I don't think there's a simple solution
there
or a
is
way
not,
to fix
or
it.
we would have solved it already.
And so
you know how to fix it. God.
Well, fair.
God fixes everything. If we could all just understand that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well, before we go down that deep dark rabbit hole of things we wish we could or did or better, XYZ. Fun facts.
Oh, all right. Zipping the fun facts already?
I think so.
I have so much more to talk about, though.
No, you don't.
Wait.
And we bubbled up like what the UN is, what it does, what the problems are with it, who's involved.
I mean, you haven't even asked me if we think the UN's going to exist in 100 years from now.
Okay, Peter. Do you think the UN's going to
I have no idea if it's going to exist in 100 years from now. I'm going to go.
Trump in office.
I am going to go out on a limb and say yes, it will still exist.
Okay.
I will never know.
Okay.
You won't know either. I don't even think your children will know.
Maybe not.
No.
No? Yeah. They will not. Maybe they will not.
It's been 80 years. I tell you what, let's look this up in 20 years when we're still doing this podcast to see if it made it to its 100th anniversary.
Let's go.
Since we're on its 80th anniversary right now.
Put it on the calendar.
All right, we'll go fun facts. Yes, let me get my cheat sheet out and go. All right, number 1. The UN actually has its own passport and its own post office. How do you like that? Yes. So technically, if you work for the UN, you can get a UN-issued travel document. And yes, you can mail a postcard from UN headquarters in New York with an official UN stamp.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's kind of cool.
It's a little culty.
Yeah, like maybe a little pompous.
We're our own country. Like
right. A little pompous asses.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's like Vatican doing their own thing, you know?
Right. That's why they're kind of like a pseudo country.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyways.
Who cares?
Not pseudo, but you know what I mean. Like
UN.
they're one of the non-member whatever.
Who don't let women vote. Okay. Number 2. Eleanor Roosevelt. Like First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. Okay. Wife of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Was the person who actually chaired the committee that wrote that Universal Declaration of Human Rights we were talking about earlier. And it wasn't like a bullshit job either, right? She had to basically bully leaders from all over the world and strong-arm them into agreeing on those 30 fundamental rights every human should have. She was the one behind it all in 1948. Wow. Like, go Eleanor, right? Yeah. That's like serious heavy lifting.
She did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she was badass.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. Even though the UN headquarters is in New York, it technically isn't U.S. land. How do you like that one? It's international territory. So technically, when you're inside the UN, you're not standing on American soil.
But isn't that technically any, like,
okay, fine.
Embassy?
I still think it's a cool fun fact. You are correct.
Okay, fair.
As soon as you walk outside, cut the shit, though. You're back in the U.S., baby.
Right.
It's happening. Okay. And finally, did you know that the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that we've been talking about this whole time is considered to be the most translated document in the entire world? More than the Bible.
Huh.
I know. I freaked out. I did the same thing. I was like, wait a second, I got to look this up. So I did. It's been translated in over 500 different languages. I didn't even know there were 500 different languages in the world. That's insane.
It's impressive, man.
I thought so.
But I guess if it's something that's so important as basic human rights, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a separation of church and state when you think about it, right? Because a lot of countries aren't Christian.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah, fair.
That's all I had. I only had 4.
It was good. We've got passports, international land in New York, Eleanor Roosevelt being the total badass as she was, and the UN somehow beats the Bible in the number of translations.
Do we know if Eleanor Roosevelt was Gibbous or no?
I don't know.
Me neither. We'd have to look her up.
All right. Until next time, I think that's enough trivia bombs for one episode.
I think so. I think it's time. I think you're right.
Okay. Boil it down for us. That way people don't have to read this 500 language declaration in order to sound smart. And maybe you can give us some takeaways.
Takeaways.
And if you know
calls to action. Can I do calls to action and do my little sort of like recap?
Great.
All right, here we go. So if we want to learn more about the UN, I mean, who wouldn't want to learn more about the UN, right? Yeah. It's a snooze fest. I hope we made it mildly interesting. Do you think we made it mildly interesting?
Yeah.
Sort of interesting?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with the charter itself. So it's free to read online, all 111 articles. I've been reading it every morning in the bathroom for the last month. I'm on Article 88. It's really long, people. Oh, my God. But I couldn't believe it's actually available. I did look this all up. It's crazy. It's there. Okay. If you don't want to do that, try reading The United Nations, a very short introduction by Yusi Hanahamaki. Or if you want like a more human side, try Eleanor and Franklin by Joseph Lash. It covers a lot of Eleanor's work on that human rights stuff. Or you could watch The UN, Last Station Before Hell. That came out in 2015. Gives like a real window into all the peacekeeping missions. Documentary. And if you like podcasts, because we're podcast people on this show, try either Global Dispatches for smart interviews with like diplomats and UN insiders, or Pod Save the World. That's a super famous one. If you want international affairs with some humor mixed in, kind of like what we try to do, but for international stuff only, and they're not nearly as funny as we are. And then just remember these key takeaways to sound, well, I guess sort of sophisticated. Number one, the UN was born out of crises, all of those things. It was created in 1945, right after World War II, to prevent World War III. The League of Nations had failed, and the UN was born as sort of a rebooted version, bigger, tougher, and with the big powers bribed to stay at the table, people. Number two, it totally has a split personality. You have the General Assembly, which gives every country a voice, and then you have the Security Council, which gives the big five strategic countries the veto power. China, U.S., U.K., France, and Russia. Fair? Not really. Stable? More or less. Me and Amanda don't totally agree on this, but here we are. Number three, the UN gave us the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Eleanor Roosevelt chaired the committee in 1948, and it's still the most translated document in the world. More languages than the Bible, people. Number four, from Namibia to Liberia, UN peacekeepers have had real successes. Those blue helmets really do give global help. And beyond the wars, the UN is behind vaccines, sometimes, food aid, disaster relief, and climate summits as well. All important for the sake of making our world better and safer. And finally, yes, the UN is flawed, but it's necessary. The UN can be slow and bureaucratic and gridlocked by vetoes. We get it. But it's still the only table where 195 countries sit down, argue, and at least try to cooperate in one way or another.
And on that note, it's pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right. And there you have it, dear listeners. A hopefully not so intimidating dive into the United Nations. From the failures of the League of Nations in 1919 to the signing of the Charter in San Francisco in 1945, the UN wasn't just another post-war idea. It was the world's biggest group project, an attempt to keep the peace and make sure we never saw another world war ever again. And if we did our job today, you're leaving a little more curious, a little more confident, and maybe ready to drop a fact or two about vetoes, blue helmets, or Eleanor Roosevelt at your next party. Whether you're watching headlines about climate change or peace talks, the big takeaway is this. The UN isn't just history to memorize. It's still happening, even though it's flawed, frustrating, but it's very much alive. And in its own way, it belongs to all of us, and we should care. And as always, if you like this episode, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your smartest friend, or your loudest one, because then they'll get the word out. But
let's go.
Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, being sophisticated isn't about knowing everything, it's knowing what still matters.